Hi everyone, I'm Nerd Bummer.
And I'm Tactic, and we're two of the hosts of the Online Warriors podcast.
Our podcast started as a way for three best friends to keep in touch and discuss their nerdy hobbies like movies, gaming, tech, and more.
Since then, we've grown into a great community. Every Wednesday, we chat about the latest nerdy news before getting hands-on with our weekly nerdy adventures.
And don't forget our high-stakes trivia game. Come join the fun at onlinewarriorspodcast.com and every major podcast platform.
And now, back to Collateral Cinema.
Tonight on a special holiday edition of Collateral Cinema Director's Cut, we're talking the Cinema Snob as we check out 6 of our favorite holiday episodes that he's done, and we're also going to review Jesus Bro. So stick around, everybody. The show starts right now. Welcome to Collateral Cinema Director's Cut. I'm Bo Maddox.
And I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And we're podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas. And yes, my friends, we are a 420 friendly podcast. So whatever you have, smoke it if you got it. And also, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus, and whatever holiday that you celebrate around this time of year. Isn't that right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we are doing our first ever Director's Cut holiday episode. We meant to have one out last year, but I don't know what happened. I guess we just kind of got a little just too into the holiday spirit or something. And, I guess we just never got around to it. But, here we are now. We're going to celebrate the holidays. Ash, how is your holiday season going so far?
It's going all right, man. I mean, I got my daughter her gift, and I got my Secret Santa their gift. So
excellent.
I'm just I'm excited to watch my daughter open her gifts on Christmas.
Oh, that's always
morning. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, that's always the best, right? I mean, I have a niece and I have 2 nephews, and it's just so much fun to give them their gifts on Christmas. It's really awesome. I mean, everybody loves Christmas, I think, But, yeah. I mean, according to some of the movies that Mr. Brad Jones himself, the Cinema Snob himself, have reviewed, they'd have you believing that Christmas is under attack or something like that.
Yeah, you can't celebrate Christmas.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
You can't say Merry Christmas to anyone.
Can't say Merry Christmas. Can't say anything.
No.
I guess. But yeah, that's what we're doing on this special edition. We are talking once again about Brad Jones, aka the Cinema Snob, and namely the holiday episodes that he made. He started doing them many years ago, and they're actually kind of perennial classics for us here on Collateral Cinema because, as we stated before, he is kind of the patron saint of this version of the podcast. Like Wizzo and Sestero, they're the patron saints of Collateral Cinema, and Brad Jones is kind of the patron saint of this podcast. So,
yeah, patron saint of the Director's Cut?
Yeah, patron saint of the Director's Cut, yeah.
All right, yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, because he, like the angry video game nerd, it's just a very classic YouTube style of review that's mostly targeted at bad movies.
He usually did like porn back in the day,
yeah, and there are some porn reviews as well, and that's amazing. I love that.
You know what's great about that? He has a Pornhub account where he has uncensored versions of his porn reviews. So
I've heard that. Yeah.
I haven't checked it out yet, but I mean, it might be interesting. I don't know, but
maybe we need to do a porn review, Bo. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch porn with you, motherfuckers. Really? Why would I want to do that?
All right, you know what? We'll do it like in Workaholics, where we put dividers up.
Oh my god, stupid. But anyway, first things first, we're going to kind of list some of our favorite holiday episodes that the Cinema Snob has done. We have, of course, his playlist going on right now. And I guess maybe we can go ahead and start with you, Ash. What is your first pick for your favorite Cinema Snob holiday episode?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh yeah, that's a classic one.
Yeah, and may I point out that this is something that definitely at some point we're gonna have to talk about on the podcast, the movie itself, because
a lot of these are probably going to be future Christmas episodes, and at least one of them is going to be our current Christmas episode. We'll get to that here in a little bit, but I mean, yeah, the Star Wars holiday episode that he did. I mean, he actually did kind of two of them. He did one that actually showed the special itself, and then he did another that, you know, it's really, really popular on YouTube to review like old school commercials and whatnot. I mean, you know, Chad Tronick does it. I mean, the Nostalgia Critic has been doing it for years. And I haven't really watched the commercial episode, even though that's kind of my jam, though. I like watching that. You know, Brutal Moose does a lot of that as well. But yeah, the actual episode that he did on the Star Wars, it was good and reverent to the original material. Still, you know, it's still not a good, you know, special, but I mean, I think it has its moments.
yeah.
And Brad really like gets into it on here. He kind of, you know, celebrates the parts of it that are kind of interesting, but also points out is like, yeah, there's lots of bad shit here. Just
I just think it's so funny how, you know, incredulous he gets at some of the most batshit crazy stuff that goes on in that holiday special. Like I some of it is just so random it feels like a fucking trip.
yeah, it's like, what the fuck were they doing in the 70s, man? I mean,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of like painfully 70s moments in this. Like for instance, the whole sequence where they have the little hologram thing and there's all these acrobats coming out. It's like, yeah, that seems just about the type of entertainment that people were into during the 70s. You know, that was when there was like lots of variety shows and whatnot.
Right.
Like everybody and their mother had a variety show, you know, like Carol Burnett, you know, Sonny and Cher and all them. And that was a very popular format at the time. And that's kind of the format that special goes by, you know, because like you have a musical guest, you know, like, yeah, it's Jefferson Starship on there and everything.
Right. Well, and I think it only ever aired the one time on TV, right? And it's never been released officially.
I don't think so. And honestly, it probably should be just for posterity's sake, you know?
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, I really do like what Brad did on this episode. I mean, it's just so, like you said, incredulous.
Yeah, and he makes a point of, you know, noting that he's not the first person to review this movie. I mean, obviously it's been done over and over, but I do love the Cinema Snob take on this episode, and I think it's one of those check boxes that just kind of, you know, you want to check off.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good episode, I think.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Well, I'll go ahead and talk about my first pick, which is also going to be a future. We're going to have to talk about this movie at least sometime. I mean, Josh, if you're listening to this, is Josh Captain Nostalgia from Victims and Villains. It's like, yeah, look at this, and you're probably going to see a few of our Christmas episodes coming up in the next few years.
See, this is very likely going to be our next holiday episode.
Maybe. I don't know. But that, of course, is Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas. This is just a classic episode for me because, for one, I mean, the Cinema Snob works best whenever the source material that he's going over is just so incredibly batshit that, you know, he can't even put anything into words. I mean, yeah, there's even a moment where he's just like, I don't even know how to respond to that.
Yes.
And how do you respond to this shit in Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas? I mean, it's basically one long shit post.
It really is. It's basically exactly like those rants that we see on the Conia Bandera chat. You know, it's like if those people became one of those people became a film director.
Exactly. And I'm sure that everybody out there on Facebook, if you still do Facebook, I mean, and if you do, you know, God help you. I like to think that quite a few of them probably are part of their local chat group, and there's probably quite a few people like that, especially around this time of year.
If you live in like a rural town in an area like Texas, you know, like you might understand this sort of vibe, but it's like one of those guys made a fucking made a fucking Christmas movie.
And what a movie it is. I don't even know if you could call that a movie, to tell the truth. I mean, it's trying to be a documentary, kind of. It's
just two guys sitting in a car.
Yeah, it's literally two guys sitting in a car for like 30 minutes on end, just talking about all this made-up bullshit. I'm just going to say it's made-up bullshit.
They even admit to that.
They admit to it, yeah.
And Brad points that out in the episode, like, wait a second. Well, you mean to tell me that all of that was actually made up and I knew it was made up, but you're admitting it?
Definitely. I mean, one of my favorite parts of the episode is whenever, when those two guys are sitting there with the cups over their mouth and everything. It's like, it's so random. It's like, why even go there?
And the movie we're going to talk about in the latter half of this podcast,
it references that.
It references this scene, and that's amazing. I love it.
It really is. It really is. But I mean, it's just a vanity project that Kirk Cameron put together because he wanted, he was like the big conservative activist of the time, which now it seems kind of quaint in comparison to the people that are out there now, your Candace Owens and your Steven Crowders and whatnot.
Oh God.
I mean, he was kind of the progenitor of that a little bit, It's like, take Kirk Cameron and throw in a shit ton of Alex Jones and you pretty much got the modern War on Christmas movement,
Yeah, 100%.
Pretty much. But yeah, Brad gives that movie no quarter at all. As the snob, I mean,
that was the original holiday episode, right? Like the first one he did.
No, he's been doing this for quite a few years, but
oh, okay, it's the first one that shows up in the playlist.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why, but I mean, he has there's a couple of best of Cinema Snob episodes up there that are Christmas related.
Okay, yeah,
yeah. But yeah, this is still a favorite episode of mine to put on because, I mean, what else can really be said about Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas? I mean,
yeah.
In many ways, he kind of made the definitive video on it, to tell the truth. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But we'll go ahead and move on. What's your second pick?
Well, that's going to actually tie into the movie that we're talking about. For our holiday special, which is Last Ounce of Courage.
Last Ounce of Courage. So we're not going to actually talk too much about the movie there, because if you want to hear the movie, we'll have the episode ready for Christmas. We recommend that you listen to that. But what did you think about how Brad actually approached the movie and how as the snob?
Well, in a lot of ways in this episode, he portrays the straight man, He's just pointing out the complete lunacy here, because all of the things in this movie that are supposedly illegal are not. And I love how throughout the episode he keeps reiterating that, like, no, this is actually an okay thing for you to do.
And he actually goes outside of his home and actually points out, it's like, look at the state capital of Illinois. There's a damn Christmas tree with Christmas lights all over it.
Exactly.
Like, listen to these two radio stations that we have playing Christmas music all goddamn month long. I mean, yeah, it's like, it's something that just needs to be said. And honestly, I mean, Cinema Snob, there are some pretty good political episodes that he's done. I mean,
yeah,
he did like Hillary's America, the Dinesh D'Souza movie. And, that Dinesh D'Souza tried to get that taken down.
That would be funny to get into something like that, or something like the Trump prophecy.
I think that he might have a video on the Trump prophecy.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, among some other things. Like the Trump Goes to Mars movie.
Oh, God, that's a thing?
Yes, that's a thing.
Oh, my God.
And it's CGI animated.
Wait.
Yes, it is. It that exists.
Okay, I think I might have seen something about that.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, I think that on this episode, I mean, it really is kind of the reason why we did Last Ounce of Courage, because I've been meaning to talk about that movie for a while. And like I said, we're not going to talk about it here. It's just listen to our episode with Victims and Villains. We did a holiday special with them. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a good episode to kind of bring up, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think it was definitely worth mentioning here, especially because of the tie-in. So, shameless promotion, whatever.
Yeah,
sue us.
yeah, we got to be a little shameless and promote ourselves here a little bit, you know?
But no, it actually is a great episode. I love his reactions throughout her, where he continually also reiterates that, if you're a public office, no, you can't display religious imagery.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and I'll give everyone my second pick, which is once again goes back on the whole idea that, Cinema Snob is best when the source material is just absolutely batshit insane, And A Karate Christmas Miracle, oh my God. Just the episode alone captures every little bit of fucknuttery in that movie.
And then they did another one, A Wrestling Christmas Miracle, and he had an episode on that too.
Yeah, he had. We didn't really get into that one, but A Karate Christmas Miracle, it's just like, it's made by Ken Del Vecchio, and it's like, this happened. This happened.
That movie is so crazy. Like, I have no fucking clue what's going to happen next. And I haven't even seen it, but, just whenever we're watching the movie, from the perspective of his review. And I think one of the points he makes is like, okay, this may seem jarring, but even if you're watching the movie at full length, it feels exactly like that.
Yeah, throughout the entirety of the movie. I mean, nothing in that movie looks like it makes sense. And it's literally like two different movies shoehorned together, one of which isn't even Christmas related.
Yeah.
It's actually some exploitation trash over like the Aurora Theater Massacre. and I think like it's a pro Second Amendment one, which is like, whatever. But I mean, it's an example of a movie that it insists upon itself way too much because, I mean, it has batshit insane performances by like that one, the performer, the professor, I should say, the college professor, the blonde lady. What is up with her,
what
man?
What the hell?
What is that character? Why? And, Snob is just totally like beside himself with this movie.
Just the crazy eyes.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was just like almost looked excited to talk about this movie because it's just so out there that it just provides so much content for him to riff on.
Well, he starts the beginning of the review actually sounding like you said, like ecstatic and sounding like, like this is just the way that it is, and it's almost pseudo positive because it's just so batshit. But by the end of the review, he just seems angry, and he's just like, what the fuck? I mean, it's not the angriest we've seen Brad in the role of the Cinema Snob. I mean, I would say that probably like some like old fashioned, he was a lot more angrier, But yeah, a Karate Christmas Miracle is something that we've got to fucking track down. We've got to watch it because I mean, and the director Ken Del Vecchio, he also did The Life Force, which is like an anti-abortion horror movie. Oh God.
Yeah, it's exactly what you think it is. and you know that aforementioned Aurora movie that was injected in this movie? It actually kind of has that same vibe to it, Yeah, it's like trying to be really, really creepy, but it's not, it just isn't. But yeah, that's my second pick. All right, now, Ash, what's your third pick for this list?
Well, that's going to be A Christmas Kiss.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time before he did a Hallmark or a Lifetime Christmas movie.
Right. And this movie, he talks about it at one point. This movie isn't technically a Hallmark movie, but Hallmark movie now means a genre.
It is. It's specifically a genre of movie that, even Fox News has made one of these. And that's Christmas in the Rockies, which he did an episode on. Yeah, he did an episode on that. But
yeah,
but oh man, A Christmas Kiss. It's like probably the blandest movie on this list. Like compared to something like Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas or A Karate Christmas Miracle, this is practically banal, you know?
Yeah, it's not as like so bad it's good. It's not as like I mean, there's a bit of that, but it's not nearly as just entertaining as some of these other batshit movies are, but rather, you know, the reaction that the Snob has to, you know, the events and kind of putting out some legitimate concerns regarding the nature of the film, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most offensive thing that he's shown, but there's moments of it that are kind of questionable. Like for instance, just this whole thing where, you know, you're just kissing some random person in an elevator. It's like, yeah, I don't think that that's something I would go for, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of sexually assaulty in many ways.
And then they made a second one, which he did an episode on, and Merry Christmas too, right?
Merry Christmas is technically the third Christmas Kiss movie, but it's just like, why are we making all these movies about kissing people in elevators around Christmas? Like, who thought of this?
I mean, I guess it's the idea of like mistletoe, you know?
Oh, God.
But I don't know. It's just, it's just, I can't imagine putting this out to the world and encouraging people that, hey, you can fall in love with someone you kissed in an elevator. I mean,
yeah. And then there's the
it's kind of like promoting assault almost.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. And then there's the boss character who's the fiance of the guy who kisses the lead.
And she's made out to be evil just because her boyfriend is cheating on her.
Yeah, it's like she's actually the level-headed one here. It's like she's the one who's being wronged here.
Yeah.
It's like, is that the kind of message that we want to be sending to people here?
And then what? Did they changed her character in the second one? And
yeah.
She just ends up being like, what happens in an elevator stays in an elevator. Like, what?
What? It's like, you have every right to be indignant about that shit. Like all out, you know? Like I would be livid if I was in that situation.
Oh, fuck that, dude. And that's actually a thing in common with Hallmark movies is one of the participants usually has a significant other already who's just a complete dick.
It's always the same
trope.
And I mean, as far as a Cinema Snob episode is concerned, I mean, I think that, it doesn't really hit as hard as some of the other choices that we have here, but it's notable mainly because it was just a type of genre of film that he really needed to kind of touch upon.
Right.
You know? Like, I think eventually we're going to have to do some kind of Hallmark Christmas special.
I agree.
Like maybe that could be our director's cut episode next year, you know, where we just talk about just the genre of Hallmark holiday movies.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I like that.
Maybe even list 5 of them that might actually be kind of okay.
Yeah.
Because, there's some of them that are kind of watchable.
Right.
You know, some of them. And my third pick is going to be Christmas with a capital C.
Oh.
This is another War on Christmas movie that is just, oh God, man. It has Brent Steiner in there, and he's like literally a white Christmas supremacist, and there's a Baldwin. There's a Baldwin.
God, a Baldwin involved. You know what?
Yeah.
Never give a Baldwin a gun.
Oh, yeah, I think I kind of agree with that. We're not going to try to make light of a bad situation, but yeah, don't give a Baldwin a gun. But, this is another movie where Brad gets a little indignant about the source material because, this movie is very insistent with its War on Christmas message, even more so than Last Ounce of Courage or Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas. There's such different takes on the same kind of rhetoric. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hits a lot of the same beats, but somehow this movie is just a tier crazier with, I think, Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas just a tier above that.
Well, the thing about Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas is that,
or 2 tiers above that.
Yeah. Although Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas is really, really batshit, I don't really think it's that malicious about it.
Yeah,
it's not the
true.
most malicious movie about it, but this is a War on Christmas movie that is kind of malicious. Like, not even Last Ounce of Courage goes there to me.
Yeah.
So, And, Brad gives it the appropriate response, like especially the white Christmas supremacist dude. It's like that dude is so unappealing in every way.
Oh, fuck that dude.
Like that part where he makes that scene in the coffee shop with the barista that he's kind of sweet on. It's like, and then he tries to go and wipe down the mud off of the chairs or something. And it's like, why isn't this woman kicking him out after that?
Right? This guy's like raising a ruckus just because someone said happy holidays.
It's because she said
happy holidays.
See, that's what's even more amazing about it. He got particularly offended by something that she said to him. And it's like, oh, you whiny little bitch, shut the fuck up.
Seriously. Like at least Last Ounce of Courage, made the point that, and this is the point that the Snob makes, that other religions are free to like express their holidays as well, but this movie is straight up like fuck other holidays.
Oh, absolutely. And it's pretty much like straight up putting the Christian form of Christmas above all other holidays around this time. And
right.
It's just ridiculous, and it falls on the same tired talking points that we've heard time and time again about the war on Christmas. And it's like, it's one of those things where, I mean, is there just a point where it just becomes boring for these people to be doing this,
I don't know.
Oh, but I mean, yeah, Brad especially goes after Brent Steiner's character in this. I mean, and he's just like, no, this movie, I want to ban Christmas just to spite this guy.
Right.
It's like, yeah, seriously, that seems like a movie that would actually make me actively hate Christmas.
Honestly.
Like, and I'm somebody who does not hate Christmas. I'm not particularly keen on Christmas music, but as a holiday, it's fine. I love celebrating this holiday. Hell, we wouldn't be doing holiday specials if we really didn't like for the podcast if we didn't like it,
Right.
But yeah, seriously, I would totally ban Christmas just to say, fuck you, you fucking moron.
Yeah, fuck. I would do that just to spite him as well. I agree.
Absolutely. But as a Cinema Snob episode, once again, the whole theory, the more batshit the source material is, the better the episode. It's like, yeah, he's in top form in that one, and that's still a favorite of mine to watch every holiday season. Sometimes even if I'm just watching through the Stone Gremlins production YouTube channel,
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. But that is our picks for our favorite holiday episodes that the Cinema Snob has done. We're going to take a quick breather, and then we're going to come back with a review of the Brad Jones. I think he wrote it. I don't think he directed it. I think that he wrote it and produced it and everything, and he acted in it. Yeah, it's going to be Jesus Bro. So stick around, folks. We'll be back after this, not message, this trailer or whatever.
Intermission.
This intermission. Yeah. We'll be back.
Can you believe this?
You know he has the right to express his beliefs.
And I have the right to have dinner without some overzealous religious fanatic shoving his beliefs down my throat. Your chanting to your invisible sky god has turned my stomach.
You're only one of the biggest YouTube atheist celebrities in the country.
Well, a real atheist wouldn't brag. We simply teach by displaying our superior lifestyle and informing others of their terrible life choices.
Oh, Rick, are you okay?
Okay. Alright, can we just end this?
Are you sure you want to do that?
Who are you supposed to be?
Who do you think I am?
A hallucination brought on by a drunken head injury?
You cut deep, Rick.
What do you want?
I need your help, Rick. What we need to do is send you back to Earth, use your internet celebrity, and convert millions of followers!
You expect me to go back to my fans, tell them I had a near-death experience, hallucinated, and talk to Santa Christ?
If you could be less of a condescending schlub about it, that would be preferred.
You won't believe this, Carlos, but I've had a vision. I totally believe in everything the Bible says. I want to take you to a stoning. Jesus wants me to get the word out to my followers.
I don't know. Your fans seem to be rather volatile about things they don't like.
I haven't seen Willie in years. We should really go talk to him.
My life's been tubular since I found Christ, bro.
I'm on a mission from Christ.
What mission's that, bro?
Asking people to convert hasn't been working. How can I force people to believe?
This right here is the biggest tool you need to survive. I call it my war room, bro.
Rick, your story has everything. My company wants to turn your life story into a movie.
Yeah, but people mostly watch me out of fear.
Religious movies are very in right now. We're thinking of calling the movie Do You Believe the Identical is Too Old-Fashioned to Prove God's Not Dead?
That sounds like a spoof title.
Who could possibly make fun of that?
Jesus, bro.
And we are back, folks. And now starts the movie review portion of the episode. And we are reviewing an interesting movie, our first ever movie that's done by an internet celebrity.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's Jesus, Bro.
Jesus, Bro.
Jesus, Bro. Now, this was a movie, I believe it was written by Brad, right?
Yeah, Brad is one of the
he's one of the writers.
He wrote the screenplay.
Is he also a producer, right? Yeah, I think that he produced it.
Yeah, probably.
But this is really interesting because it's a straight up parody of pretty much the pure flick style religious movie, you know, the Christploitation genre, if you will.
Yes, it's a parody of all of those, and I love how it incorporates so many references to those.
It does, man. Like for instance, you have Alison Pregler. Like she's playing a character who's just does very specific, you know, exposition. Like that's her entire job, and that's
they
her job
make
in
an
the entire
entire
movie.
meta joke on it, you know.
Oh man, it's so great. Like it plays so well, and you have all of the usual suspects when it comes to like Channel Awesome and Stone Gremlin. You know, like you got Fard Muhammad. He plays Dave Gobble's best friend.
Right.
Yeah. And Carlos. Yeah, and the whole story is that it's basically like this atheist YouTuber. He's got this huge following, and
I love how he's portrayed just so extremely like all of these movies portray atheists.
Yeah, but also it kind of captures what YouTube atheism was like back in the day a little bit.
It's kind of a critique of that as well, you know?
It really is. And you know, I mean, there is a lot to critique about the old school atheist YouTubers. I mean,
oh yeah, edgy as fuck.
Yeah, most of them has become pretty much anti-SJW people, which is just like, oh, whatever, shut the fuck up, people. Come on now. But yeah, he eventually has not necessarily a near-death experience. He just drinks some really, really strong beer,
100 proof beer with holy water.
Beer. Yeah, made with holy water. And he gets to meet Santa Christ, that's what's good about this movie is that, I mean, if you've watched anything Channel Awesome, I mean, you know, controversy aside and everything, if you watched Channel Awesome back in the day or Stone Gremlin back in the day, I mean, these will have a lot of your favorite personalities here.
Yeah. Santa Christ is a recurring character on the Nostalgia Critic.
Yeah, that's Rob Walker. That's Doug Walker's brother.
He also, you know, appears in the Cinema Snob and Nostalgia Critic crossover episode on Passion of the Christ, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, he was also recently in the collaboration they did over the Black Christmas movie that came out recently in 2019.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you have Santa Christ reprising his role, coming back.
Like, yeah, and also Malcolm as the devil.
Malcolm Ray as the devil. That's like his top character right there, man. He's so good in that role.
He really sells it. And I love how they even kind of throw, you know, both of these characters into sort of a somewhat more believable position within a universe.
Yeah, right?
But, you know, it's just so batshit insane. I love it. And I think that the movie, you know, or I guess maybe we shouldn't get into spoilers. Or
no, it's fine, whatever.
You know, I love how, you know, at the end of it, you know, they even kind of stray away from the Christian formula, and the point is just like don't be a dick.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I mean, they do a lot. I mean, it's kind of interesting how they bring in the religious aspects of it,
Yeah.
and how they make fun of it. Like, namely the idea that Santa Christ needs this guy specifically to bring up conversions. And it turns out that it's just a bet that he made with the devil.
Just a bet.
It was all of this was a bet. Like at the end, they have to like do the rapture and everything in order to kind of fix things. But
and they even reference Dogma, which in itself was a satire film.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With God being a woman and all.
Yeah. We won't spoil who plays God in this movie.
Okay.
Or you know what? Fuck it. It's Sarah Gobble. Like she's been in quite a few Cinema Snob episodes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I know quite a few of his movies as well. But man, I thought that the actual premise of the movie was very funny. Like it's a funny movie.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, and it really kind of hits all of the, pretty much hits that Cinema Snob humor like right in the money.
Yeah, it really is. And the humor is just a little bit over the top. It's kind of kooky and it's amazing because it's satirizing bad films.
Exactly. What are some of your favorite scenes from this movie? I mean,
the aforementioned coffee cup scene is a lot of fun.
Yeah, they straight up bring back the talking behind the coffee cup thing from Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas, and that's hilarious. I mean, it was like, yeah. And of course the Jesus bro,
bro, and just the way that's shoehorned in.
Yeah. I mean, you have Brad Jones. He plays the main character's brother,
right?
Who apparently was very religious the whole time.
And then he just fucking dies at the end.
And becomes a Force ghost.
And then
along with Santa Christ and
the devil.
And the devil and God and everything.
Yeah. So stupid.
It's so stupid, but it's really, really funny. I mean,
it is really funny.
I mean, YouTube movies kind of have a little bit of a reputation. Movies made by YouTubers. I mean, there's quite a few of them that are kind of bad.
Yeah.
Like for instance, the Smosh movie or the Fred movie or
don't even talk about Fred.
No, let's not even talk about that. Like those movies tend to kind of be not so good, but these are actually pretty okay. Like this movie was actually pretty good. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, of course, it was shot more or less with digital cameras and everything. So, I mean, it's not like a powerhouse of cinematography or anything.
They worked with the budget they had.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't expect these types of things with low-budget movies. And I think it's really, really fitting that now all of his movies are being distributed by Troma.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. This totally feels like a Troma movie. I mean,
in a lot of ways,
it's got that Troma vibe to it.
Yeah, I agree.
So it actually fits rather well in that streaming platform. But otherwise, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say about this movie, I kind of feel, because it's very straightforward in what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
Like the parody, it's the parody is clever, and I really enjoyed like having all the recurring characters kind of come out and do their thing and whatnot.
It was really nice to see those characters.
Are you okay, dude?
Yeah. On screen together and just have these characters reprising roles, but throughout the film and being a major supporting character.
Yeah. But I mean, anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and give some final thoughts on it. What are your final thoughts on Jesus Bro?
Jesus Bro is a lot of fun. I recommend it to anyone. It's just a totally, especially fans of the Cinema Snob or the Nostalgia Critic or any of the other YouTube stars within, kind of has a vibe similar to
what's the movie?
This Is the End.
This Is the End?
Where it's like all the celebrities get together.
Yeah.
Sort of, but also like meets Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
It does kind of have that Jay and Silent Bob, that Dogma quality to it.
Yeah.
and that's a movie that goes into some interesting territories. I mean, we'll probably talk about Dogma sometime.
At some point.
But yeah, I concur. I mean, like I said, as far as YouTuber movies are concerned, like this is pretty decent, I mean, of course, the bar isn't really set very high there.
No.
You know, but I mean, even James Rolfe made a pretty okay movie as well.
Yeah, the Angry Video Game Nerd movie.
Yeah, I don't know about the Nostalgia Critic ones though.
No.
I mean, I've heard some of them can be a little, you know.
I think one of them was actually announced like with his retirement, and then he came back, right?
Yeah, it was something along that line. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that, you know, it's just more profitable to do the Nostalgia Critic. I mean, whatever.
I mean, I'm happy.
Yeah, whatevs, you know. But yeah, I'm going to give this movie a pretty decent rating. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It's like, I mean, it's definitely worth watching at least once, you know, and also, you know, maybe give Brad a little bit of support there, you know, like maybe he'll make another movie. He's made a few Cinema Snob movies as the Cinema Snob character, so
I agree with that rating. 4 out of 5 is actually just about right, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what you would expect it to be. You know, and it's the humor is good. You know, the parody.
It's not like groundbreaking or anything.
No, it's not a groundbreaking movie by any means.
But it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, and you could tell that everybody had fun making it. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
And that to me is the sign of a really good movie. Is like even if everything else is absolute trash, if it looks like people are having fun making it, then you know it just kind of elevates it, and that's kind of what I see here. You know.
Yeah.
It's like it looks like it was a pretty fun movie to make, you know.
I agree. You could tell that.
Yeah,
the actors are having a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I mean, especially that movie Disco. Like, I want to see that movie Disco because that just looks like a blast.
Hell yeah!
It looks like it was just a good excuse for them to just rent out a fucking like nightclub and just go crazy. Which fucking I would make a movie just to do that. Why not?
Cool. I'd like to check that out.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this episode up. We weren't really intending to go too long here. You know, I mean, director's cut episodes are typically a little shorter than the normal Collateral Cinema episode. But Ash, what's coming down the line with Collateral Gaming?
Well, we are doing our Holiday Plus Anniversary Special on The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So another 2-part episode. Maybe making December just kind of a Zelda month going forward. I don't know. I just, that feels right.
It seems like the right thing to do. I'd agree.
But yeah, and then after that in January, we're talking about Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Oh, fun.
So I'm excited about that.
Getting into the Mario Luigi RPGs, huh?
Yeah, those are a lot of fun. But before the holiday season ends, we're also going to be doing our own holiday edition of Collateral Gaming Bonus Round, which Bo is going to join me. And we're going to basically do the same thing, but with Angry Video Game Nerds. So we're going to do, the top 3 Angry Video Game Nerd episodes each. And then, a review of Zelda's Adventure.
Yeah. Zelda's Adventure. Oh, God.
So kind of tying in Zelda month again there.
Yeah. And he has a couple of Zelda episodes, I believe.
Yeah, he has an episode. He has a few episodes on the Zelda CDI games, including Zelda's Adventure. So,
which I mean, you did an episode on the CDI games, right?
Yeah, we did an episode on the first 2, the one to Gamelon and the Phases of Evil. We have not talked about Zelda's Adventure yet, so
yeah,
that'll be fun to finally get into.
It will be, I'm sure. But yeah, and for Collateral Cinema, we've got our episode on Neil Breen's Double Down in the works. That's going to be released before the first of the year. And we're also going to be, in January, we're going to be getting into some action movies, more or less, or at least one action movie and our traditional car movie that Robert picked. These are both Robert's picks.
Yeah.
We're doing Last Action Hero, and we're doing Born to Run. Born to Run is interesting because that's going to be our first actual TV movie that we're doing. You know, which, I mean, it's kind of difficult to get a lot of info on that movie for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, some of the movies that we're doing this season are even movies that like don't have Wikipedia entries, I think.
Or even like on IMDb.
Even IMDb?
Yeah,
wow.
Some of them. Yeah.
Some of them. Damn.
But yeah, check us out on Patreon. We have full-length feature commentaries there, and we will have new content coming out there very soon once we get more patrons. So we have $1 and $5 tiers. So yes, please join us there and become a patron. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and You can find us on pretty much any podcast app you can think of, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, but especially check us out on Good Pods. And give us a rating and follow us there and help us kind of get on the rankings for Good Pods and whatnot.
Hell yeah.
Like we charted not too long ago, which was nice. That was cool. But we would like to chart again. So hit us up there, and you can also find us on like Apple Podcast and Podbean and Spotify. We're also on YouTube if you like consuming podcasts on YouTube, which I don't know why you would, but
well, when we start getting some video podcasts out, I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, we're going to try to start getting some video content out very soon. So anyway, that's what's coming up with Collateral Cinema, and you can also find Collateral Gaming at pretty much all the same places as well.
Yeah, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and whatnot.
But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up then. Once again, happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everybody. I mean, I hope that we don't get shot for that,
Y'all stay safe. Whatever you're celebrating, have a fun time. Or even if you're not celebrating anything, just, I know that COVID numbers are going up with the Omicron variant. So, just practice reasonable prevention measures. If you and your family can stay safe, if you're all vaccinated,
get vaccinated, please.
And you can celebrate Christmas together. Hey, that's great. But just make an informed decision, and y'all just, no matter what you do, have a happy holiday season.
For sure. So with that, I'm Bo Maddox.
And I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And we are out. See y'all later. Have a happy holidays, everybody.
Reinforcements are on the way. Let me tell you about a man from the days of old whose only goal in life was stopping evil cold. He spoke his mind and he made some people scared. He knew that he was dying, but he came prepared. He had the power of his daddy spoken words of love and a light shining brighter than the stars above. It wasn't nothing new, but it was redefined. The King of Peace has come, redeeming all mankind.
Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by their respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.